Vegetarian weight loss diet. Becoming a veggie doesn't automatically mean you're on a vegetarian weight loss diet. One of the myths about vegetarianism is that it automatically causes you to healthier and slimmer, but it's not that easy. To prevent eating meat and reduce, it's necessary to follow a vegetarian weight loss diet. This might sound strange if you're wont to thinking of vegetarians as slim health fanatics, but I can tell you I even have been a vegetarian for nearly 20 years and that I need to watch my calories as all meat eater does. Vegetarian nutriment is often as calorie heavy as a burger bar, and if you ever verified the calories listed on the side of a packet of peanuts, you'll know that it's not just meat which can cause you to fat. Thanks for watching, welcome to this channel, subscribe, make a comment, hit the bell icon, please and thanks. Whenever I find it difficult to persuade someone of the possibly high-calorie content of a vegetarian menu, I find one fact that makes my point better than the other. Those huge Japanese sumo wrestlers don't place on weight-eating burgers, frozen dessert, and chocolate all day. They eat a standard vegetable stew called chanko nabe. Yes, it's possible to be huge and vegetarian, so don't think that dropping meat is that the easy thanks to dropping your pounds. The sad truth is that if you would like to reduce, you've got to try to the standard things that each one sensible fat reduction food plans require. A planned, low-calorie diet began over a wise period of time with regular exercise thrown in. All diets do an equivalent basic thing. They reduce your calorie intake and usually increase your dietary fiber while providing enough protein to stay your body from trying to form its own. But the great news is that vegetarians do have a start, since a correct veggie hotel plan will include many fibers, many protein and tons less fat than a meat eater's, if it's done properly. Dropping meat from your diet doesn't automatically mean dropping inches from your waistline, especially if you replace it with fatty veggie food. So it's necessary to think about a properly laid out and planned vegetarian weight loss diet, including many fresh fruit and vegetables and a few good brisk walks. Vegetarian diet plan. Even a vegetarian diet plan requires planning. There is more to a vegetarian diet plan than simply leaving out meat and animal products. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself consuming even as many calories on a veggie menu as you'll on a meat-eating diet. Properly planned, a veggie diet is often high in healthy carbohydrates, fiber and antioxidants, and low within the less wholesome saturated fats and cholesterol typical of the many meat-eating diets, and people carbs, fibers, and antioxidants will assist in healthiness and weight reduction. But the keyword here is planned and proper diet, which goes to supply the specified results of weight loss and healthiness, has got to be planned, and vegetarianism is not any different. One of the primary things people often mention, when considering dropping meat from their menu, is, where will the protein come from? It's an error to think that meat is the only good source of protein, and a few might even argue that meat isn't even the simplest source of protein. A vegetarian hotel plan is often as high in protein as any that has meat and can be freed from the saturated fats and cholesterol that accompanies most meat protein. There are many sources of non-meat protein. Nuts, beans, and pulses, seeds, soya, and tofu are top of the list, and are nearly as good a source as any animal material, while protein is often found in many other sources too. In fact, there's nothing in meat which cannot even be found during a non-meat food. The vitamins and minerals we get from beef or chicken also can be found in nuts, seeds, fruits and vegetables, and there are far fewer concerns in preparation and storage, and you don't need to splash bent by the simplest cut whenever, either. The main thing to think about in any structured eating plan is that each one the required vitamins, mineral and nutrients are accounted for, which the body has enough energy to figure with. Eating as a veggie is not any different, but the unexpected outcome could be that after a couple of months of following a vegetarian diet plan, you discover that, together with your body freed from the meat fats and your palate cleaned and cleared from eating much fresh produce, you do not wish to return to eating meat. Vegetarian diet recipes. How to replace meat and dairy to make your own vegetarian diet recipes. It wasn't very way back that finding interesting vegetarian diet recipes was a difficult task, but nowadays there seems to be almost the maximum amount choice for veggies as there's for meat eaters. But does that mean that as a non-meat eater you usually need to obtain a specifically vegetarian cookbook? No, not necessarily. Before vegetarian recipes became so popular and plentiful, us veggies want to find a meat recipe that sounded good, then just replace the meat and dairy elements with substitutes. Here are some examples. There are many meat substitutes available like soy, corn mycoprotein, tofu, textured vegetable protein, and tempeh. Actually, many of them are sold within the shape of chicken pieces, mincemeat, steaks, burgers, sausages, and every one kind of other shapes and forms, which make them even easier to substitute during a recipe. But you'll use your imagination and use beans rather than meat pieces in dishes like soups. The same goes for dairy ingredients. Rather than adding slices of dairy cheese to the highest of a dish, try soy cheese. You'll also get soy yogurt and soy cheese, which may easily replace conventional yogurt or cheese. Rather than adding dairy milk to a recipe, you'll add soya milk, although you'll get to take care. Soy milk doesn't respond well to extremely popular temperatures and, if added, might sound to curdle, so it's necessary to stir hard and fast to counteract that. Don't worry, it won't spoil it, you only got to stir. Rice milk is another possible replacement, and, if it's sweetened, which it often is, then it's an ideal replacement for dairy milk in the dessert and sweet dishes, whereas soy is best for savory. In many recipes, it's possible to form these simple replacements and find yourself with a delicious non-meat or non-dairy dish. The more you experiment and work with these substitutes, the higher you'll get to understand them. One big difference between meat substitutes and real meat is that the lack of fat within the substitute, which suggests that not only is it more likely to soak up moisture, but it's no intrinsic fat of its own during which to cook, so additional oil could also be needed. My particular favorite is corn, which I even have found to be highly versatile and attractive too, and a staple ingredient in many of my vegetarian diet recipes. Thanks for watching, subscribe, make a comment, hit the bell icon, please, and thanks.